I hit my first million by 30. But if I'm being honest, I could have done it years sooner. If I didn't waste so much time making the same mistakes most people do, not mistakes like buying coffee or eating out too much. I'm talking about the quiet mistakes, the one that sounds smart but actually slow you down. Like playing it too safe. Or thinking you need to pick just one path in life. Career or business or investing. I fell for that lie early on, and it cost me years. So in this video, I'm breaking down the biggest mistakes that slowed down my first million and what I'd do differently if I can start from scratch. When I started, I was doing what everyone tells you to do. I joined the army after college, learned discipline, structure, and how to grind. Then I got my MBA, then pivoted into tech and started climbing. By 25, I was in a solid job. By 27, I was managing people. And on paper, it looked real good. But behind the scenes, I was just stuck. I was saving money, but not really growing it. I was working long hours, but not building anything outside my paycheck. And deep down, I knew if I kept doing these things the same way, I'd still be working this hard at 40 and wondering where all the time went. That's when I started realizing what was actually slowing me down. My first big mistake was playing it too safe. I used to think the smart thing to do was stack cash in a savings account and wait for the right time to invest. Spoiler, the right time never came. Inflation was eating my savings, and I was missing out on years of compounding because I was scared to lose money. When I finally started investing, index funds, my 401k, and eventually real estate, my money started growing faster than I expected. If I started at that 24 instead of 27 age, I would have had an extra $100,000 by 30. That's the cost of playing too safe. The second mistake was thinking I had to pick one lane. I thought you could either build a career or start a business or invest, and not all three at the same time. So I told myself, let me focus on work for now, then I'll figure out investing later. That mindset killed years of potential. And when I finally got my real estate license, I started investing in small properties and built side income while keeping my tech career. That's when everything changed. I realized I didn't have to choose. I just had to manage my time differently. Your job funds your investments, and your investments buy your freedom, and your side hustles multiply both. That's the formula nobody tells you. I also waited too long to build new skills. I used to think hard work alone would get me ahead, but every big jump I made in income came from learning something new. Either it be negotiating, managing people, understanding business, or even how taxes work. If you want to move faster, build skills that increase your value. Don't wait for your job to come and teach them to you, because it won't. If I learned negotiation and leadership 3 years earlier, I would have made six figures way sooner. I wasted years trying to be a genius investor. I was reading charts, timing the market, chasing random stock tips, and none of it helped. Once I stopped trying to be smart and just started being consistent, dollar cost averaging into index funds, buying real estate when it really made sense, everything clicked. You don't need to time the market. You just need to give your money time in the market. Another mistake, treating my time like it was free. I'd spend hours trying to do everything myself, fixing things, managing small projects, doing busy work just to save a few $100. But every hour spent doing low value tasks was time I wasn't using to make more, learn more, or build something scalable. When I started outsourcing all that small stuff and focused on higher value work, my income jumped. That's when I understood the saying, you can make more money, but you can't make more time. And probably the biggest mistake was waiting for the right time. I waited to invest, waited to start my business, waited to buy my first property, and every time I said, let me just save more first. But that's how you stay stuck. If I started earlier, even small, the compounding would have done most of the work for me. And you learn faster when you start. The experience is worth more than any amount of research. When I finally started investing in real estate around 26, 27, that's when everything accelerated. I bought my first property, then a second. I was still working full time, but now my money was working too. By 30, between my job, investments, and real estate, I crossed the $1 million mark. But here's the part that people don't see. If I hadn't spent those early years waiting, or overthinking, or playing it too safe, I could have probably been there at 27. Those little delays cost big time. The biggest wealth killer isn't bad spending. It's waiting. Waiting to invest, waiting to learn, or waiting to start. If you stop waiting, everything just speeds up. And you don't have to be perfect, just consistent. Every step compounds faster than you think. And if you want to see exactly how I built that first million, watch my video on how I made my first $1 million, no excuses. That covers the full story. Hit subscribe if you want to skip the mistakes that I made and build yours faster.